Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. Well, it's morning for me. It's 6:50 here in North Georgia, freezing my butt off, super cold. But anyways, I was just bringing back one of my very first shows that I realized disappeared, and it went to outer space. So I am putting it back on. It's one of my first shows. I hope you guys like it. Para ustedes, los latinoamericanos que me están escuchando, muchas gracias por escucharme. Ya veo que tengo bastante gente que me está escuchando. So sorry about the Spanglish, guys. I mix up the Spanish and the English here. I am bilingual. Born in Miami, Florida, so I'm Cuban American. So anyways, just wanted to put the show back on. I share a lot of good paranormal ITC information, just equipment and just general equipment information. So I spent about 5 years, I guess you could say, going to a lot of haunted locations, either solo or with some people. And I just wanted to share my experience and some of the findings that I had. This is my first show. And in this first show, I do talk a little bit about equipment and just it's just nice. It's just cool to hear because this is one of the first shows where I was actually starting my idea out. And hopefully there will be many more good shows and you guys will stay with me and listen to my show. And this will keep growing as I continue to try to bring evidence. Of course, this has been done for years. There's many shows that have been aired. But I definitely hope that you do like my show. It's not scripted. I do research material before I come on here. Or it's just experiences that I've had. So anyways, enjoy my first show, guys. I am going to go have some coffee. All right. You guys have a good one. And, stay tuned. Good morning, everybody. This is Mario, and I am bringing to you a new podcast. This is going to be just a brief introduction of who I am and what my podcast is going to consist of. Don't really have a whole lot of material on this particular podcast, but my next podcast will be filled with a lot of exciting, intriguing little tidbits of some evidence I've gathered in the past. This is going to be a paranormal podcast, and I got to say that my main interest when it comes to paranormal, the unknown, is the spirit world. I grew up in South Florida. I lived in a house that was built around the 1940s. Not a super old house, but it was old enough where it had some character. Ever since I was about 9 or 10, I did have some weird experiences, and around when I was a teenager, I had some pretty obvious experiences, which really piqued my interest in the paranormal. Right around the time I was about 12 or 13, we started playing around with a Ouija board at home, and I know it's going to sound very cliche, but I can tell you that kind of awoke something in that house. I'm not sure if it's something that's always been in that house or if it's something that we may have welcomed to the house by playing the Ouija board. But right around the time we started playing with that Ouija board, we started getting some weird happenings in the house. Basically, we got a Ouija board. It was me and my big brother and his ex-wife for the most part. My sister was gone to college, so me, my big brother, and his ex-wife, we used to sit there and play Ouija board sometimes right after school. I did notice that my brother's ex-wife, she started playing on that Ouija board almost every day. After a couple of weeks of having it, she would just sit there by herself and play it, which was very freaky and kind of odd. Me and my brother, one day we sat there watching her, and that planchette was just flying across the board, answering questions. I would ask questions. She would get responses right away. It almost became like an addiction, which again, that's, it may sound very cliche, but hey, it's the truth, and that's what happened. That's how everything started in my house. After all these, after the whole Ouija board thing, one night I woke up. It was right around, again, gonna sound cliche, but you know what? When you learn about the paranormal, this stuff really makes sense when you put it all together. It was around 3. It was like 3-ish, and it basically woke me up from just how loud the noise was of whatever this was that was coming through my wall. It appeared to be an old man in some kind of weird, loose, rickety type clothing, but it was coming through my wall. It came through one side of the wall. It looked like it was glowing. It was like a weird, sort of a misty, foggy glow, and he just went right through one wall, and then he went right out the window. The central air conditioning unit, part of that unit was right next to my room, so I could tell if the unit was on or not. The air conditioner, it was. You can hear a pin drop from how quiet it was. So the air conditioner wasn't on. I saw this thing go through the wall. 2 other factors that scared the crap out of me was the fan was moving when it went through the wall, and also I had a flag. I had an American flag on I thought it looked cool. I had a flag on my window, and when this thing went through the window, the flag started moving as well. So whatever that was, it was pretty powerful, and it just went right through my room. So I'm not sure if that could have been probably part of my mom, who was very heavy into prayer. She's a practicing Catholic, very faithful Catholic, and she did always tell me that she always would stay up and pray for us. So it could have been her prayers at work, trying to get rid of whatever was in the house. I remember we didn't tell her right away about the Ouija board because we were scared that she was gonna get pissed off at us. But I think when she did find out that we were playing all the time, she did start doing some praying. But I don't remember right around that time if she did a cleansing, but I know that there were some cleansings done at the house. But anyways, that's where everything started for me. That was one of my main experiences that I remember very clearly, very vividly. There was other things that happened. My big sister, unfortunately, when she was around her early 20s, she had a fiance at the time who she was very in love with, and I'm not going to get into too many details with this. I don't think she would appreciate that, but I'm just going to say that unfortunately, he did take his own life, and it was very sad. I knew him pretty good. I liked the guy. He was pretty cool. Sometimes I used to take rides with him when he would come see my sister, and he would go do errands. He was a really, really nice guy. I guess he had his mental instability that not everybody knew about. But anyways, right after he took his life, My sister was next door at the next door neighbor's house, and she was sitting on the couch, and they were talking about him. And right at the moment that they were talking about him, she saw a Lego block just fly off the counter right across from where they were sitting. That was the first thing that happened. And then there was another night where I was home. I was in my room, and the room that I had moved into was a room where she used to stay right at the time when she started dating this guy. So I don't know if that had anything to do with the I guess you could say the residual effect, possibly. Maybe he was familiar with that room, and this is why he kind of made his presence in that room, or I don't know if he was trying to give me a message. One night, I did wake up. Look, I had the type of closet where it was two mirrors. You would slide the mirror back, and that would be part of the closet. And so it was two mirrors, full-size mirrors. So in the middle of the night, it started out by just a bad feeling I was getting. I did have this spooky feeling going on, and I woke up and I looked at the mirror, and when I looked at the mirror, I saw his face, and it was almost like morphing. It looked like his face was shaking. It almost looked like he was having a seizure, and you could see this guy's face in my mirror staring at me, and it just looked really crazy. So that was another real spooky event that I had in that house. I'm just going to say one more real quick, and the reason, guys, I'm telling you this is because this is the stuff that got me, first of all, believing that there's definitely another dimension that we don't always see all the time that is around us. And basically, if you don't pay attention, you might miss it. But once in a while, things do happen. I think a lot of us just either decide not to pay attention to it, or we just don't notice. But I guess you could say my attention span at that time, when it came to that, it was very very heightened, and it's probably just because I paid more attention to it. I wasn't living such a busy, crazy life other than school. Anyways, I came home one day, right around the time, it was around the time, probably a couple months after my sister's ex-fiance passed away. I was in the house, sitting on the couch. I was watching TV, and I was sitting there watching my. I was just watching a soap opera. God knows, I don't even remember what it was, but I was sitting down. I was watching the TV, and all of a sudden, on one window, on one of the windows on the side of the house, as clear as can be, the window, you hear a knocking, really loud knocking on the window. I jumped up. I thought maybe somebody was there. As soon as I jumped up, another window knocked on the other side of the house, and then the other window. Basically, every single window of the house, it was a very loud, very, very loud, like it wanted to make sure that it was just loud. It was super loud. On each window, it went around the house, and it was boom, 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 boom. For a second there, I thought it was my brother playing a trick on me. So I jumped up, I ran to the back of the house. There was nobody there. I ran to the front of the house because I was telling myself, I'm gonna catch him. I'm like, I'm gonna catch my brother trying to mess with me. So, but I got up. I looked all around my house. There was nobody there. There was nobody anywhere. And then I thought maybe it could be my neighbor, because we did have a neighbor who used to hang out with my brother, and I thought maybe he was playing a trick on me. And I went next door, and guess what? He wasn't even there that day. At least when I went there, he wasn't there. Just my other neighbor, which was his big sister. She was there. I told her what happened. She saw that I was like just freaking out. So I had no idea what the hell's going on. Scared the crap out of me. till today, I still ask my brother 20 years later, or probably a little, maybe 30 years. It's been a while. Time flies, but I still ask my brother about that now, and he tells me, nope, he doesn't know anything about that. He had nothing to do with that. It was really weird. Anyways, this is the kind of stuff that got my interest in the paranormal. So I have been doing some investigating last couple of years. Probably over the last 5 years, I did some investigating. First 2 years, I did go to a bunch of places here in Georgia. There's a bunch of cool historical places to go to here. So I did go to a lot of cool spots, a lot of old buildings. I'm going to be posting these pictures up on my website, which is parasitech.com. Again, that's parasitech.com, parascitech.com. That is my website, and I am just trying to get everything up and running. I still haven't really put too much on there. Been working my butt off last 5 years, so and I got a 2-year-old who's been keeping me real busy. Me and my fiance, she is a bundle of joy, but she is also a bundle of energy. So she keeps us pretty busy. Anyway, so I do have a lot of cool stuff that I'm going to be posting on that website. I'm also gonna get some audio files. I got to get some audio clips and play them for you guys. I got a few Class A EVPs that I've recorded, and I will definitely put them on this podcast as soon as I get a chance, which will probably be tonight. I probably won't put it on this podcast. It'll probably be on the next podcast. Just to give you an idea of one of the Class A EVPs that I have, I went into an old jail that's here in Atlanta. It's called the Prison Farm. This place was built, if I am not mistaken, trying to dig back to, you know what, let me go online real quick. I'm going to do a little cheating. And I'm going to double check Prison Farm, see when it was, just so I can give you some accurate information. Prison Farm, let's see what we have here. And if you go past the burned out buildings and illegally dumped tires, you'll find an unspoiled green space. Okay, so it looks like that's just the location. Let me see if it tells me when it was built. Pretty old place though. It's pretty raunchy. It's falling apart. Most of the roof over there is either burnt down or just kind of decayed and falling down. Full of graffiti everywhere, so it's been vandalized, of course. Unfortunately, it happens to most of these cool buildings that we like to go to and check out. Okay, so it looks like a defunct prison said to have been in operation from 1945 to 1995. The firefighters felt that it simply wasn't worth the risk, aggressively trying to stop a fire, and it looks so. This basically was a report of when there was when there was some vandalism done, and somebody tried probably starting a fire, some idiot, I don't know, but very cool building. Most of it, you can, as far as the walls go, you can, the structure is still there. But anyways, I went there with I had my EMF detector. I had my EMF detector. I had a Sony digital voice recorder. I did have my handheld, my Handycam. It was a night. It's a night vision Handycam, which is pretty good. And I was using those three things. And when I was walking through part of one of the hallways over there, part of the prison that it still has the prisoner cells. All the bars are up. Some of the cells you can't get into because they're still locked up. Some of them are slightly open, so you can kind of get in there. I was in one of the cells with my EMF detector, and there at that time, actually, I did go by myself, and I was at the cell with my EMF detector. There was, keep in mind, there's no power at this place. There's absolutely no power there. Probably hasn't had power for close to 20 years, and I'm at that cell location. My EMF detector, I start getting a spike. So I get kind of a random spike. I start following the spike to the corner of the room, and I put my EMF detector down. I start asking, "Is there somebody here?" I start asking your just a lot of typical questions that I like to ask. If there is somebody here, I do have a device in the corner. You can touch that device, and that'll show me that you are present. As I tried probing whatever entity was there, my EMF detector did get some really nice spikes, so I definitely knew there was something there. I had my Sony digital recorder recording at the time, and I asked, one of the questions was, "Do you live here? Are you here with me now?" Right after I asked that, and I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna try to go in and edit this and put it on this podcast. If for whatever reason I don't get to put it on this podcast, I promise you guys next podcast I'll have it. But on the recording, you hear very clearly a voice say, "I live here." It scared the crap out of me. Freaking incredible Class A EVP. I loved it. Again, I asked, "Is there somebody here with me?" And again, that voice, very loud and clear, you could hear, "I live here." So that one recording was probably the best EVP I've ever gotten. I also went to another building called the Candler Mansion, which is close to it's in the outskirts of Atlanta, and it's by Mr. Candler, and let me see if I can get his first name. And Candler Building, Candler Mansion. But he was basically he was one of the partners. He was the partners with the dude that invented Coca-Cola. He was basically partnered up with him. He was one of the former homes of Coca-Cola, co-founder, and the Atlanta mayor, ASA Griggs Candler, also known as Griggs Candler. So he has a mansion on the outskirts of Atlanta, which has been left abandoned for a real long time. It's got tunnels underneath it, and the very creepy thing about this is that it's also it's got these tunnels that I wasn't able to get to. However, I did get to I did get to a part where I got to the elevators. There's some elevators, and I know they go down to the tunnels, but they weren't functioning. As you can imagine, there's no electricity in this building. Humongous building, freaking just awesome building. It's huge. It's humongous, and also another cool thing about it is a lot of it is still preserved. Actually, there was a movie that was filmed in there, and it was Road Trip. So there's part of the movie Road Trip with, if any of you guys know who Tom Green is, I used to think he was a pretty funny guy back in the day, but I know he was one of the star actors in that movie. But anyways, there is a scene that was actually taken in that building. Pretty awesome building. I do have some EVPs there as well. I got a bunch of pictures. Some of those pictures are on my site. Again, parasitech.com. So I did a little bit of investigating there, a little bit of urban exploring. Badass place. But anyways, that's it. I mean, I love this. I love the paranormal. I love the just catching stuff, just recording stuff, and playing it back. It really makes my adrenaline just pump when
when I go back and I see that I caught something. At that Candler Mansion, I just want to go back real quick, but at the Candler Mansion, there was a lot of heavy breathing behind me. There was one recording that I caught. Again, guys, I'm going to try to find these recordings. It was on another desktop that I had, and some of these I backed them up. Some of these files I backed up. Some I don't know what the hell happened to them, but I caught a voice there as I was looking through some documents. There was a voice that you heard on my recorder, and it almost sounded like it was behind me. But as we were looking through some documents on the floor, there's a voice that came out that said, "Pay no mind to that." It was pretty freaky because it's like something was telling me, don't pay attention to those documents, put them back on the floor. There was like files scattered all over the place. This building also, for a little while, after the Candlers moved out of there, for a little while did become I know it was a rehabilitation center. It was also a place for the insane for a little while. So it was a what do you call it? It was basically a place for mentally unstable people for a while. Then it was a church, and then after, I think the last thing it was a church. Then it went back to being a rehab place, and then it closed down. So really interesting place. Again, I got pictures up on my website, and I'm going to go ahead and try to get my stuff together, and hopefully on this next podcast. Sorry guys, I'm getting a little tongue-tied here, but on my next podcast, I will go ahead and give you guys some of that evidence, and this is my first go. I hope at least I caught your guys' attention a little bit. Can't wait to be back and show you guys some more stuff. My name is Mario. I am going to go ahead and sign out, and I'm going to go ahead and probably at least post one clip on here. So, you guys have an awesome one. Take it easy. Thanks for listening to my podcast.